as you are starting the first seeds of the season, friends, don't hesitate to know if you haven't even sown seeds yet, you're not too late. Yes, it's true. We are starting our first seeds of the season, onions, but heavens, it's too early to start most seeds here in Zone 5. And even if you have already sown your onions, it's not too late, even if you haven't. So please know that it's, especially in the age of social media, one of the easiest and most common mistakes to make is just starting seeds too soon. So don't hold back. Welcome to Live Q&A. Dive right in and don't be shy. I'm excited to share what we're sowing now, how you can know what to sow when, and before we go any further, a quote from W.E.B. Du Bois. So, children learn more from what you are than what you teach. I love to remember these words one more time. Children learn more from what you are than what you teach. And on so many levels, I love this because certainly do as I say, not as I do. Oh my gosh, you're going to do as I do. So it's true. I am so eager to share with you that my primary teacher are these seeds. And I love it because they teach by doing, by living. They already live it, right? So our gardens grow us so much more than we grow them. And without further ado, please jump right in and don't be shy. This is live Q&A. So here we go. Oh, but first I do want to jump in and say, holy heavens, let's talk about onions real quick, because anytime here in Zone 5, mid-February to mid-March is the perfect time to sow onion seeds. If you have a great grow light. If you don't have a grow light, hold off until early mid-April. Also, you can grow them in a greenhouse if it's warm and cozy and a full day of light. But otherwise, unless you have a full day of light in a greenhouse or a grow light, don't start any seeds yet, no matter what else you think, because that light is so key so that you can grow healthy, robust, resilient transplants. Here's the thing, young, unstressed transplants are more healthy, more resilient, and thus more abundant every time compared to older, more stressed seedlings. So as much as it's counterintuitive because we grow in short seasons, and so we need the oldest, biggest transplant we can to get abundance, to grow and surround ourselves with abundance in our short seasons, it's counterintuitive, friends. When you start seeds too early, when you plant stressed seedlings, you're putting 1 foot ahead and you're falling 2 steps behind. So sad truths of our times. And check it out. When do you sow seeds? Is this interminable, not exact, precision-oriented question, but here are a few resources to keep in mind. Certainly, I'll start sharing out all of our Plant Now calendars as I have. But take a look. We have our little, perhaps you've seen, this is a huge, unbelievably tiny encyclopedia of when to grow. You'll see lots of different plants and January through December, when to sow, whether you direct sow, transplant, when to anticipate harvest. But check it out. We also have this amazing transplant chart. We have a direct sow chart as well. And it's relevant across areas. So whether you grow in Zone 5 or Zone 12 or Zone 2, here's the thing. When to sow, this lovely little column has weeks before frost. So it's relevant no matter where you find yourself. And this is one of the many pages. Well, this is one of 40 pages to be precise in our Rise and Shine Starting Seeds with Ease book, which is actually a paper spiraled bound, beautiful book. Oh my gosh, they're lovely. And it's beautiful. We just got our latest edition in. They're hot off the press, but you can also get it simply for free. The paper copies are $18, and you can also get it just for free as a PDF, as a download. That's black and white pages so that you can confidently print it at home and enjoy it that way as well. So feel free to lean into all of these different resources, friends. And also, shameless plug, join us Wednesday. If you haven't already heard, we are sharing free weekly webinars, deep dives on different plants. So last week was onions. If you want, the week before was peppers. If you want the deep dive, just register and you'll get all the replays tucked right in your inbox. And this next Wednesday, we're talking about, yes, peas and 10 easy seeds to direct sow in March, right on time. And Tracy Ann says, just received my Rise and Shine book. Love it. Learning so much. Yes, enjoy. We purposefully put lots of space in the margins so you can write your own notes. And I love it when people send me pictures of how they've just like made notes of things, and then also just big, beautiful splotches of potting mix. How these books and us, we all come to life with our seeds. So let's jump right in. I know I missed a few other questions, and thank you for joining our live Q&A, friends, and don't hold back. So Kara says, I planted my spinach late last fall. If it overwinters and starts growing, am I able to eat it? So do I need to do a spring planting? Great question. And I actually do both. So having our cake and eating it too in all the different seasons. We have spinach that we sowed in September, and we've been eating it all winter long when it's not covered in snow. And so it's going to regrow and be delicious in the spring. Fall sown spinach regrowing in the spring is the sweetest, most tender spinach of all time. You're going to walk in a grocery store and be like, what are you selling as spinach? That's right. Grocery stores barely have food in them. Now you know. Yes, but that doesn't mean that you necessarily don't need to plant spinach in the spring. If you love spinach like us, we are actually planting in the fall so that we can be eating all winter long, and in the spring. We also plant in the spring because those plants tend to not bolt as quickly. And then we'll just have that much more. So if you have plenty of garden space, if you have plenty of seeds, if you have plenty of the TLC to just take care of the plants, and you're hungry, plant all the more. And I love another shameless plug. Perhaps you've seen our Across the Seasons calendar. So that way you can keep track of what you're learning. And so here's February, and it's a perpetual calendar. So it has dates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but instead of Monday through Sunday, there's years. So here's 2020, and you can see February is a little on the more sparse side. There's things like, a skunk visited our compost pile. There's a really exciting one actually from yesterday. The first killdeer we heard and saw in our fields, which was really exciting. But also like when we're sowing and harvesting microgreens. And you'll see as we get into April, it's a lot more bustling. And so here's 2020, and then we'll be writing 2021, and there's room for 2022. So it's called Across the Seasons because as you're taking all of those notes and noticings, you can see and amplify your abundance as you notice those patterns. So there's lots of ways to take notes, and certainly our brains, our memories are potent, albeit biased sources of information as well. And so I encourage you to do all the things that bring you joy. And Julie says, how do you know what type of lights to buy? LED, what wattage? My shelf is 4 foot long and 18 inches deep. Great question. So there's so many lights, and honestly, I was really skeptical of recommending any lights ever because I just, every year I get literally hundreds of pictures of seedlings growing that are so light stressed, and they might be 2 inches or 6 inches below a grow light that someone spent hundreds of dollars on. So I don't know that much about lights. I know enough to know that it is like, whoa. If buying a car is a terrifying prospect because you can get a lemon very easily, the same is true for grow lights. And so I felt that way very much, and I still do. But perhaps you've seen, we share these LED grow lights on our website that are actually made by our friend Vic. He's one of the original innovators of LEDs back in the 90s. And so he's dedicated his retirement to creating grow lights for home gardeners so that basically he can eat amazing food all year round in Indiana. But we love Vic and we love his lights, so I highly recommend LEDs, but you want full spectrum, but something that is still for plants, because here's the thing, plants need red and blue wavelengths, and they need it all, but they need especially those, and because those are the wavelengths they photosynthesize from, right? Plants are green because green is in between red and blue on that color wheel. And because they photosynthesize with red and blue, but not with green, that's why they reflect green and appear green to our eyes. Oh my gosh. So we have beautiful lights on our website and beautiful stands for them as well. And for our particular lights, different lights will be different. But for our particular lights, keep those lights 6 to 8 inches above the uppermost canopy of your seedlings. And they come with drawstrings so you can, and timers so that it's all just, you can automate it and keep it really simple in that way too. So thank you so much for asking, my friend. And Jill says, on average, how long does shipping take if I order tomorrow? Southeast Connecticut. Sending love to Connecticut, Jill. And honestly, we're shipping with 1 day turnaround right now. Our team is amazing, and we know it's so important for people, so we are going above and beyond to make sure that all of our orders are going out within one. Although if you're ordering on the weekend, sometimes it might go out on Tuesday instead of Monday because there's so many orders from the weekend. But honestly, you're going to have your seeds by the end of the week at the latest. You might even have them midweek. So I would guess Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at the latest that you'll get your seeds. And thanks for asking. And shout out to our huge team. There's 9 of us full-time at Fruition Seeds. So I could not do it alone. And I'm so grateful for them making it easy. And Julie says, what do you think of those mini greenhouses, which are basically a zip-up clear bag you put around shelves? I think they're a brilliant way to encourage people that are really well-intentioned to spend a lot of money and have a bad experience. Is my 2 cents on this subject. So a real greenhouse needs to be warm all the time. And those things about those like zip-up greenhouses is that you can't really heat them realistically. And so they heat up as soon as the direct sun comes on them. They're going to be 100 degrees. And then as soon as the sun goes down over the horizon, they're going to be whatever ambient air temperature is around them. And that temperature disparity is not good for seeds. So in that way, and they also just, the humidity tends to go crazy. They're really not for growing seeds. And there's a number of like garden products that I'm like, that's a great way to sell people crap they don't need. So pardon my soapbox. And thank you for asking. Tracy Ann just received my Rise and Shine, and I love it. I'm so glad. Enjoy, friend. I'm so thrilled. And Karen asks, thank you. I'm starting seed chart. The seed charting chart is so helpful. Yes. I'm so thrilled. I'm in zone 7A and very grateful for the seed starting book. I downloaded it to support my school garden club. Wonderful. And just a lovely little shout out for sharing our resources too. Like, I love it when people ask, and know that you don't even have to ask. Like, what we create for all of these things are for free so that you can be surrounded by abundance, and our great grandchildren can also be surrounded by abundance. So thank you for sharing what you love with people you love, and don't be shy. And Kirsten says, can I order the book and can you send it to Germany? Alas, we only ship within the US and Canada, and I'm really sorry, but you can get that free PDF on our website and download it, and you'll be good to go. It doesn't have all the pretty black and white, but it's pretty great, and I'm so honored to share it with you, Kirsten. thank you for asking. And I was conceived in Germany, so sending love. And Nancy says, hi Petra, I will direct sow seeds, but I will be out of town in May, so I will not start seeds. Are transplants available to buy at your farm? Yes, thank you for asking. And it's on my list as soon as possible to get this up on the website, and I apologize that it's not. We are totally going to be open, albeit social distance style, and we're transforming one of our outdoor buildings to be essentially kind of an outdoor space for sharing seeds and compost and seed starting materials, and we'll have transplants as well. So stay tuned, but basically every weekend from that final weekend of March all the way through the end of May will be open, and so looking for your distanced company between 10 and 2, both Saturday and Sunday. Thanks for asking, and can't wait to see you soon, Nancy. And Andy says, are your seeds available at Rochester retailers or only by mail order? Yeah, Lori's has our largest selection. And let me think, I know Victor, Bristol's has a selection. Abundance is about to place their order, so we're about to send it to them. Gosh, and I feel like there's another too, Clover Nursery. So yes, thank you for asking. And they don't have all of our seeds, but especially Lori's has a serious collection. So go ahead, and if you're looking for specific things, just especially in pandemics, it might be worth giving them a call to confirm that they have exactly what you're hoping for. And otherwise you'll find it online, but I'm so delighted that you're asking, and we're so grateful to have so many people all across the Northeast that are sharing our seeds with their communities too. And Jill says, that calendar is a great idea. It's so fun. I love it so much. And Barbara says, I purchased the dwarf snap peas and shell peas. Do they need inoculant to boost them? So yeah, let's talk about peas and inoculum. Actually, let's also talk about the fact that I'm going to talk at length about peas. This next Wednesday is our next upcoming free webinar. We have this whole webinar series now through the end of May, our Sowing and Growing series. So we're focusing on a plant each week and just diving deep into it. So garden planning aspects, sowing, keys to keep in mind, growing, cultivation tips. So this next Wednesday is peas. So jump on in. We'll talk a lot more about inoculum then. And if you want to join that webinar series, you only have to join once and you'll get an invitation to every single one. So if you've already joined us, welcome and welcome back. You don't need to register again. But if you want to register, you'll find the link in the comments above, and you'll find it on our website under Learn. And so peas, it's good to inoculate it at least once. If you've never inoculated your peas before, do it once. But the thing is, those wonderful fungi that you are, that you are encouraging, those nitrogen fixing bacteria that you're encouraging with the inoculum, they are in your soil after you inoculate the first time. So you don't need to inoculate year after year, is the short of it, and I can't wait to share more on Wednesday. And Jill says, I've been trying to figure out the best way to keep a multi-year gardening journal calendar. Yeah, there's a lot of different approaches, but I'm really delighted. Check out Rise and Shine is a really great way to start. There's also in the back, there's this whole Let's Dig In section. And so the rest of the calendar is juxtaposed, right? There's like when the killdeer returned, and when we sowed our tomatoes, and when we're harvesting lettuce, all at the same time frame. On this back section, here's our whole section about tomatoes, all those details for 2020. And here's our whole section about garlic for 2020. And there's room for 4 years here. So those are notes. If you're looking at actual garden plans, we're actually diving in with some friends to be creating a different way of making a garden plan too. That's a more visual, like 3-dimensional approach. So stay tuned for that. And what fun. And Jill says, I had blue-red grow lights in my office and the plants loved them. Amazing. Yes, I know when I learned that plants only photosynthesize red and blue wavelengths, and that's why they're green, because they're reflecting the green wavelengths that they can't photosynthesize, it like blew my mind, and it continues to blow my mind every time. And Todd says, I have organic ginger that is starting to have children. Can I put the whole root in soil and they'll keep growing and snap off the babies once rooted and planted out this summer? Sure, go for it. That sounds like a great plan. For me growing ginger, I prefer to just keep growing it and feeding it all summer long so that it's continuing to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Because the thing about ginger is they grow up. It grows up and out rather than down. So you seeing that it's growing new fresh baby ginger on the side, you can keep snapping it off, but that's necessary for it to keep growing leaves as well. So it's a delicate balance of letting that new growth grow, become bigger rhizomes, and then some of them investing in more rhizome, delicious ginger investment, some of them investing in foliage so they can be generating more sugars for the sun and growing more ginger. So yeah, if you don't already know, our ginger masterclass, Grow Your Own Ginger Masterclass, is totally free, and you'll find it on our website, fruitionseeds.com, and it has tons of awesome details. And our organic, glorious seed stock quality ginger is arriving next week from our dear friend Howard in Hawaii. So it actually goes on sale next Monday, March 1st. So woohoo! And I missed the beginning of your Q&A. I apologize if you've already answered, but has the link to last Monday's onion starting webinar been sent out? I wasn't able to make the live viewing. Thanks for asking, and I actually haven't sent it out yet because we're still making, and it's awesome, we're making all of these growing guides. Perhaps you've seen them already. We have them for a handful of plants already, like calendula and garlic and peas, but I'm making the one for onions and I'm still refining it. So I meant to have it done days and days and days ago, and I don't have it done. So I want to share the growing guide at the same time as the replay. So yes, you haven't missed it, and I will send out an email as soon as that onion growing guide is ready, so that it's right there on the page with the replay. And enjoy, and don't feel like you're too late, because you're not. It's one of the easiest things to feel like we're getting behind, especially in the age of social media, when we see all over our feeds in spring that people are starting seeds, whether they're right down the road from us or 700 miles south of us. So it's not too late. You're in the perfect window, and I'm hopefully by the end of the weekend we'll have that onion growing guide all set to share with you. And Julie says, I can't wait for dahlias. I don't know how to grow them, but I'm hoping to learn from you. Yes, absolutely. We are sharing our dahlia tubers Monday morning. They go live. I can't wait. Jump right in. They always go fast. Last year we sold out of them effectively within a day. So I highly recommend, if you're wanting to get dahlias from us, get in early and often. You can actually sign up for an email notification on our website if there's particular varieties that you're excited about. Sign up for an email me when back in stock. So then the moment it goes live on Monday morning, you will be the first to know. And you can put it in your cart and check out and be confident you've got it. And as far as growing dahlias, oh my gosh, we made so many videos about growing dahlias. And a lot of them are in our Flourish Garden Club, which is our paid, like, come and go as you love, $8 a month, our Flourish Garden Club, the deep dive of what we do. And I've been meaning to separate those out and put them into blog posts and other contexts, and I haven't yet, and I apologize because I don't want to just keep them, behind a paywall. But yeah, definitely don't be shy, because it's not hard, but it is not necessarily easy. There's a lot of little things, like tying your shoes isn't that hard, but if you don't know how to tie your shoes, it looks pretty darn complicated, and it kind of is. And there's, yeah, tying your shoes, and then there's knots that will take you on a sailboat across the Atlantic Ocean. So there's all of those layers of with dahlias, where there's the easy and the way to keep it simple, and I'll spend the rest of my life dialing it in and getting to know how to grow them better. So just a few more questions, friends, and we'll call it a day. And thanks again for joining. What a joy. And yeah, Vincent. Oh, good morning, Vincent. Do you have thoughts on passive solar greenhouses? They stress heat sinks and insulating walls that don't receive direct light. Most real farmers I know have greenhouses with zero insulation, but that are usable year round. Yeah, there's so many different kinds of greenhouses. So just to put out there first and foremost, saying greenhouse is kind of like saying bird. And it might be a tiny little piping plover. It might be a hummingbird. It might be a huge albatross. There are a lot of different birds. So when people say greenhouse, there's a lot of different interpretations of what that means. And certainly passive solar is like a next level. So yeah, heat sinks are critical. Like if you have 50-gallon water drums, or even like I love the greenhouses that have like rabbits living in them and other living things that are generating their own energy and synergy and nutrients to cycle in those systems too. So yeah, just make sure that they are south facing, and it's always nice if you don't have a living thing in it, that it's really nice to really dial in that heat sink, especially if you don't want to be supplementing with additional, non-renewable energies. So yeah, there's advantages are not always advantages, and disadvantages are not always disadvantages, because there are certainly, it's like real farmers, which like, what is a real farmer? I love your quotations, Vincent, always. And, often it's economic and it's simple to have those, and it's what is available commodity style, which is why it's economic, right? And there's like government grants that you can get so that you can have these more, commoditized greenhouses where you supplement with heat. And, there's 2 layers of plastic on it. So there's forced air, there's air blowing in between them, and air is a fabulous insulator. So there's a little bit of insulation, and some of them are usable year round, some of them are not. But oh man, our friends, we should connect you actually with our dear friends just south of us in Prattsburgh, who have the most genius passive solar, and I don't think they would call it a greenhouse. I'm not actually sure what they call it, but it's unlike anything else that I've ever seen, and it is super all passive, and it's totally brilliant, and they grow so much food, and I can't wait to connect you with them. And just our final question of the day. Michael, good morning, and over the hill, Michael. When can we order plants? So here's the thing. We will have thousands of organic transplants this year to share, and we're not doing it by order. We're just going to have it as first come, first serve, and we're going to be open this Saturday and Sunday between 10 and 2 on the final weekend of March all the way through April. So stay tuned on our website for exactly when our transplants will be available, because we're opening in May with one of our outdoor buildings being like with a roof overhead, but wide open and with very strict social distancing measures. And so yes, we will have transplants, but the pre-order is just kind of madness. And it's just setting everyone up for disappointment. So I hate to disappoint you. You can't order seedlings, but I'm glad you're right down the road, so you can come right at 10, right when we have our first tomatoes and whatever else you're excited to get, and I can't wait to share them with you. So I am so sorry to call it. There's always so many more questions, and I'm so excited to jump into. But don't be shy. I'm here every Saturday morning hanging out with you. So see you next Saturday. And also, if you haven't already registered for our free Growing and Sowing webinar series, please do. This upcoming Wednesday, we're talking about peas and the 10 easy seeds to direct sow in March, so you can set yourself up for success. And those have been so much fun and such a joy. Thank you to everyone who has been joining them. And I hope that's you. On Wednesday, we're going to be sharing weekly a deep dive of a different plant every week through the end of May. So once you register for it once, then you get an invitation to them all, and you have access to all the replays as well. So jump on in and don't be shy. And don't hesitate to ask questions anytime, friends. We are here for you because these gardens grow us more than we grow them, and we learn more together than just, each of us in our own private silos. So I'd love to close with these words from the brilliant W.E.B. Du Bois. Children learn not what you teach, but what you are. Children learn, once again, children learn not by what you teach, but what you are. And I am honored, friends, to join you this morning and always. And I hope that if you are enjoying this time together and you're enjoying growing seeds, that you recognize that you are that light in the world as well. And you are that seed waiting to germinate. And that the reason, perhaps, that you are so interested in growing and sowing abundance is because you know that this is your gift to the world as well. So thank you for knowing that seeds are not as small as they seem, and that you are not as small as you might seem or feel sometimes. And I look so forward to growing with you and to letting our gardens grow us in all the ways they will, knowing that gardens grow us so much more than we grow them. Sending love from our snowy yet melting gardens to yours. Until next time, thank you, friends.